Breast cancer charity Susan G. Komen is reversing course after major backlash to its decision to cut funding from Planned Parenthood. Louise Radnofsky is in Washington, D.C. following this latest turn of events, which is evolving right now. Bring us up to speed, Louise.
Well, it's really an extraordinary decision that we've seen today, particularly for people who are familiar with the normal grant-making process. It's been entirely unclear over the last few days with a variety of different reports what the breast cancer charity's original motivation was, but what's certainly clear is that as the backlash has grown over the last few days, they've decided to reverse their decision. They announced in a statement released within the last hour that they are, in fact, going to continue their affiliation with Planned Parenthood, the grant that around $680,000 they were giving to the organization to carry out breast cancer screenings for some of the women who went into its clinics.
And Louise, is there any language from there that you can share with us from their statement? Are they specifically giving a reason as to why they are changing course here?
Well, the statement refers to several things. One is the breast cancer charity's sadness at the way that the decision's been interpreted in recent days. They've made it very clear that it was never a political decision, but they've also indicated that their original arguments for what happened, that they cut off funding because Planned Parenthood was under congressional investigation, had been what had motivated them, that they changed their policy to suspend relationships with organizations that were under congressional or other investigation. And what the statement says now is that they would probably still go with this for investigations that are criminal and conclusive in nature, but not necessarily just any old investigation that happened to start. The congressional investigation that everyone's referring to was started last fall. It was instigated by members of Congress who are opposed to abortion rights, who had expressed concerns about the way that Planned Parenthood was managing federal funds.
And obviously, though, there's been a tremendous backlash across social media and all sorts of sectors. We've seen people from New York City Mayor Mike Bloomberg to other businesses stepping up to try and close this gap of funding. I think it's interesting, having watched what's happened on Facebook and Twitter, to see the pressure that was put on Komen. Do you get the sense from your reporting that this thing got out of control beyond what they could have ever have expected?
Well, I think for the Komen Foundation, this was a double-edged sword, because certainly one of the things that's been speculated about is that they wanted to end their original affiliation with Planned Parenthood precisely because that affiliation was controversial with some people, particularly, of course, people who are opposed to abortion rights. And so by seeking to sidestep that controversy, they, of course, seem to have instigated another one. Now, it's also perhaps worth noting the Komen Foundation's donations have also gone up in this time period. And, of course, hard numbers are hard to come by, and this is a constantly evolving issue. But a number of people who are opposed to abortion rights had previously not supported the Komen Foundation, have now done so, said they would do so, that they were planning to run in the race for the cure for the first time in a decade after not wanting to have that affiliation. It's, of course, entirely unclear what they're going to feel today, now that the reversal has been announced. And as far as they're concerned, the charity has caved to pressure from people who do support abortion rights.
You know, and obviously something like breast cancer is something that isn't political in nature. I mean, red state, blue state, it affects and can affect everyone. It seems like the issue itself has sort of gotten the crosshairs of the political tendencies of different sides. And you know, you speak about what's happened with Komen. I also, you look at what's happened on Facebook. There's a defund the Komen Foundation Facebook page. You look at Komen's own Facebook page, 2/3, I think someone said, of the comments on there were very negative. I think it just goes to show, in terms of social media and its presence, the power that it wields. Did Komen address any of that, the social media aspect, when they reversed their decision this morning?
It didn't directly address the social media aspect, although it was very proactive in its own social media outreach. The statement was emailed around, but the official Twitter feed of the charity was also referring to it, trying to answer other people who had posted messages on it. And so obviously that's something that they're going to have to figure out in the coming days. What the statement referred to as a desire to start making calls and outreach of various forms, primarily more on the traditional end of the spectrum, starting this afternoon, presumably in the hope that they can start to fix some of the bridges that have been severed. But again, there remains this issue as well with the people who are going to be very disappointed with the decision that was announced by the foundation this morning.
And very quickly before we let you go, any of the people who've resigned from Komen's board, have they stepped up to say they will be coming back on the board because of this?
Not as far as I know at this point, but again, it's very early in the day, and clearly this is going to be an issue that's going to evolve through most of Friday.
All right, Louise Radnofsky following this developing story for us right now, the Susan G. Komen Foundation reversing its decision to cut funding from Planned Parenthood. Thanks for joining us.